Senator Hughes, just the bill before this, we were arguing a somewhat similar bill with its intent to keep women safe. What's the intent of your Senate concurrent resolution urging the state to adopt this policy?
Senator, the fact that there are two sexes, male and female, has been accepted in not just Western civilization, but in human civilization for a long time. In recent years, this has come into question, and this was discussed on the previous bill. Even the Equal Rights Amendment that Senator Gutierrez referred to, when that was passed in 1972, there were two sexes, male and female. That's been the basic underpinning of our law, and that's what our laws have been based on. And so only in recent years has this come into question. So this Senate concurrent resolution, like the governor's executive order letter of January 30th, like the one from the White House on January 20th, is making it clear that there are two sexes, male and female. The resolution itself does not create a cause of action. It does not, in and of itself, change laws, but it does form an important position for us to take as a state.
You're familiar with the Texas Legislature Online, the computer program, the software you can do searches on for bills?
Yes, sir.
If you put into the subject the words gender, identity, or expression, are you aware that it will produce 68 bills filed this session to address that?
I haven't looked it up, but I believe you. I'm sure that's right.
So without this SCR, there are already 68 or more ideas from both chambers about what to do, about what we're seeing in our society. Are you aware that those 68 bills are one more than the number of people in Texas jails who identify as trans? There are 67 people in our Texas jails who identify. Were you aware of that?
No, sir, I did not know that.
And, it may sound like a large number, but that's out of 220,000 people in the state currently in our jails. And so I hear what you're saying, but I don't understand what you're trying to solve.
Senator, there will be specific bills like the ones, some of those you described. I don't know what all those 68 bills are. There'll be bills like we heard this afternoon, others we have considered. And in previous sessions, we've dealt with the issue of protecting women's sports at the high school and at the college level. All those bills are important. This, like the governor's executive order, will make sure that our agencies and make sure that state officials know when these questions arise, we follow the law based on two sexes, male and female.
I understand what you're saying. I think the problem, though, is by trying to put this very much into specifics, that you're trying to box in the possibility for people to be discriminated against who may not fit normal stereotypes. And that's the thing, that I think that at best, people are going to get harassed, and at worst, they're going to be discriminated against or hurt because they don't look quite like that gender that they were given at birth. And as you've said it yourself, some people are born, it's not easily distinguishable whether they're male or female, and it's later assigned. Are you aware that when people have been assigned eventually their gender, that the person who grew up with that gender assigned to them has said, that was incorrect, I'm actually the opposite gender? Are you aware of that?
We've heard testimony. We've heard testimony from folks, and I want to make sure I understand the question. Are we speaking of someone who was born with, for example, male?
Let's say ambiguous. It was difficult to determine at birth. Doctors waited, and then they assigned one to them. They go, we can't tell. You know what? We think it's a male. We think it's a female. And later, that person says, this is what was put on my birth certificate, but it's never what I've felt.
And in those cases, even under the new bill on birth certificates, there's a provision for when the sex was not assigned at birth or the doctors could not determine it. But even in cases like that, Senator, it is male or female. It is one of those two sexes.
Understood.
you.
Thank you for answering my questions.
Thank you,
Mr.
sir.
President.